very high up in terms of this sort of stuff, saying that there isn't one issue out there, because people react differently. And the fact that I start looking over to the left doesn't necessarily mean something. You have to know me better to find out, yes, that is significant, right?
That's the baseline theory of deception detection. Two theories sort of woven into one, Tom. One is neurolinguistic programming, popularly known as NLP.
And what is that?
That's actually an unscientific system that has gained a lot of traction in about the last 30 years. NLP is this, making air quotes around the word science. It's a pseudoscience that is based on a number of different cornerstones. One of them is that you mirror another person's behavior in order to try to bring that person's anxiety level down and somehow make you more comfortable to the person. Now, Dave is sitting across the table from me with his arms folded on the table, and I'm doing the same. I'm doing the same with Dave right now, only to illustrate something that a practitioner of NLP might say is an effective technique in terms of making me feel more comfortable to Dave. NLP would also say that if Dave asks me a question, or you, Tom, ask me a question, and I'm lying, I'm fabricating a response, that I would look up to my right, so if you're looking at me, be up to my left, and that is a reliable sign of dishonesty. It's not a reliable sign of dishonesty. There are no reliable signs of dishonesty, and in fact, last year, some researchers from some universities in Great Britain finally, once and for all, published research debunking that myth that the direction the eyes go actually has anything at all to do with dishonesty. But then you are also, Tom, talking about the baseline theory, which is why is it, for example, that parents are so good, or why is it that your wife is so good at determining when you're being dishonest? And the theory goes that it's because we have people whom we're close with at a baseline, and we know how they act when they're telling the truth, and we know how they act when they're lying, or at least we think we do. And what it's based on is the concept, and I think it's an effective concept, and I think it's a scientifically proven concept of cognitive pressure. That the more cognitive pressure there is on you when you're lying, the more likely there is to be a change in your behavior in some way that tells you at least that the person you're talking with is feeling nervous or uncomfortable about something.
In other words, you can tell that they're out of their comfort zone.
Exactly. Not necessarily lying, but there's something different going on, and that's what you seize on, and that's where your investigation really begins.
Okay, so the brain then is triggering a different way in which I speak or gesture or look, etc.
Exactly.
And so if I'm here and I answer 5 questions in one fashion, and then ask the next question that I'm going to be deceitful about, you will see a change perhaps in my voice, a change perhaps in the spacing of the words as I talk, a change perhaps in my gestures, etc. Is that right?
Have you spent time with this? That's exactly right. And the more significant the issue, and it's called a high-stakes moment, the more important the outcome. In other words, the higher the penalty for being caught, and the higher the reward for not being caught in those high-stake moments, you're going to end up getting more cognitive pressure because there's more to gain or to lose. Versus, the perfunctory moment, Tom, where we met this morning and you said, "Good morning, how are you?" And I said, "I'm fine." It's a perfunctory moment. If I'm not fine, it doesn't matter.
You might have had a terrible morning.
Right.
But the normal response is, "I'm fine." You don't want to bring that to this situation.
Yeah, how are you this morning? I'm fine. Did you rob the liquor store? Well, now here's a little different issue.
There might be a little cognitive pressure on you if you, in either case actually, if there's something to lose, if you're telling the truth and you didn't, there might be some real cognitive pressure. For example, in the interrogation room in the police department. If they don't believe you, you've got a lot to lose.
Okay, so you and I go to trial. You're going to assist me. And how do you do this? So let's take an